We are live. What's up, friends? Dallas Michael Sear, and I want to talk to you about purpose. As the founder of Ignite Purpose, obviously this is a topic that's close to my heart, and I'm going to give you a little bit of context because this is about a journey that I've been on and a progression that I've experienced and some awakenings that I had, which I now have been using to serve, support, and really assist my clients and the people that I've been working with in just living so much more fulfilling, like deep, connected, powerful lives. The first thing that I want to share around purpose for me was that it was coming from a place when I was searching for my purpose, like, you know, the big question, like, why are we here? God, why am I here? You know, it was coming from that place of just like really wanting to know and understand, why am I here? Like, I feel this deep calling on my heart to do something significant and to have this life that I'm living mean something, to have it be more than just the accomplishment of, you know, of a promotion at work. Something more than just, you know, hanging out for another fun weekend, partying and getting drunk. Ironically, though, even when I began to connect with a deeper mission and purpose here in life, and I started doing things that were more fulfilling, there was still this gap between being truly connected and being on purpose and living a really full, powerful life and still feeling like I was in this achievement mindset. Just what I was looking to achieve changed. So it went from wanting to know my purpose, waking up and realizing, wow, I'm pretty clear that I'm a master life guide, that I'm a teacher, that I'm a coach, that I'm a communicator, that I'm a transmitter, that I'm here to deliver a message to impact people's lives. And yet, after years of searching just to discover that, I still found myself struggling to wake up in the morning and actually feel alive and connected to the work. So what I recognized is that first, it became about wanting to understand why I was here. And what I learned was it had nothing to do with a particular vocation or vehicle, that the work that I got to do was nothing more than a vehicle to share the essence of who I am. That is it. And once I got clear about the essence of who I am, the uniqueness of how I get to experience this thing called life, this play, this illusion, this experience of life, then the vehicle, like whether it was coaching or singing or spoken word or whatever, didn't matter anymore. Yet the other aspect was I got to really look at what was keeping me from living that purpose. Because even when I woke up and realized I'm here to be a transmission, I'm here to share wisdom and assist people in further awakening their life so they can make a bigger impact, so that they can make a difference. Like I'm here to be a channel, I'm here to be a support, I'm here to be a teacher and a guide. Great. Why am I not doing it? So the first part of this process was like even just waking up to the fact that me living the essence of spirit was the first step to connecting to experiencing some semblance of purpose, to understanding that that work alone wasn't going to satisfy it. That even if I discovered a vocation, a job, a career, a business that enlivened me, I could still get into the trap of just trying to get, to do, to experience, to win, to try and get something from life, versus really being clear about what I'm frigging here to give. The essence of me that's wanting to pour through this vessel. And then the second stage, once I got clear about that, a huge opening up happened in my life. because then I wasn't stuck simply looking for a career and a job with this limited mindset that there was one thing I had to do, and if I didn't discover it, I would never be happy, and I would struggle forever. When I realized that that was just complete BS, and that my life was really about living, that my purpose is everything I do is my purpose. Just, the sharing this message is my purpose. Loving my beloved and being in an amazing connected relationship, my purpose. Being the best son and friend that I can be, my purpose. Waking up in the morning and following my internal guidance system of what feels good and living and feeling actually alive. That's my purpose. And then the vehicle of which I get to do that with is secondary. The question is, though, once I decide what that vehicle is going to be, whether it's coaching or starting a business or putting a product or service out in the world, the degree to which I do that matters. Am I doing it truly with a full, expansive heart? Am I grounded in the work? Am I trusting myself? Am I sharing as fully and expansive as I can in order to shine as bright as I can, to make as big impact as I'm here to make? Or am I deciding that when that happens, then I'll do this, and when this person treats me this way, then I'll show up that way, and once I figure all of this out, then I'll shine more bright, and once I have enough money to put the right plan in place or to hire that person or do the Facebook ads, then I'll, continuing to put my purpose and mission on hold. Right? Here I am. I spend nearly a decade of my life just to figure out why I'm here. Feeling this desire to do something big in the world, and yet feeling so confused and lost by what that thing is, not knowing what that thing is. Then realizing there's no one thing. I just get to be the perfect, beautiful vessel that I am, and every aspect of my life is the purpose for my life. Further awakening, further connecting, further sharing my essence. Great. Now what? Then I get to find a vehicle. Awesome. For me, speaking, coaching, conscious business mentor. Awesome. All great vehicles and tools of which I get to share my essence, to be of service and to feel more fulfilled and connected. Great. And even with all of that, how come people still struggle? How come it's still hard? How come I get so many people who are on my pages echoing the same words? Right? Talking about how I'm here to do this, and I talk about vision and manifestation and awakening your cellular DNA and being more alive, and I talk about all these things on all my posts and the content that I share. And then there's these people who are echoing what I'm saying and just taking my words and saying it in a different way and not saying it in their own unique way. And from my experience of some of those people, because I know some of them, they're not actually even fully living it for themselves. It's still harder than it needs to be. And so the question becomes, how come a person can wake up and realize my purpose is this, find a vehicle for it, boom, and still have this block in going out and doing it and living it? Now, I've learned a lot of it is these unconditional patterns and behaviors and beliefs. And a lot of us have heard this. It's all about beliefs, and so many people are still talking all about mindset, and that's perfect. It's a great place to start. In fact, it's usually the most obvious place to begin, because it's what we're closest to, right? And it's what we can feel like we have some control over, that we can make an impact on right away. Like I can start recognizing the thoughts in my head and begin to change them. The question is, have you ever noticed you don't think to think? So even if I start to recognize my thoughts, what about getting to the place where those thoughts are coming from and recognizing, why the fuck do I have the thoughts that I have and you have the thoughts that you have? And how do I even get to the source of that so that the thoughts begin to be even more empowering? How do I connect more closely and more deeply and powerfully with the essence of who I am? How do I get to really understand who this is on an authentic, deep level so that I can become even more clear about how to deliver that to the world? And then how do I get to look at all of the things that are blocking me from doing that even more powerfully? And what I recognize is I've discovered like this sequence of events. You know, I'll give you the overview right now. And what I'm speaking to is really the formula, the structure for what I've created in igniting your purpose, right? This is work that I've been honing in, refining in with group after group, hundreds of people over years now, more than 4 years. And I've recognized that there's certain steps that are principle, right? So it doesn't matter like who you are or where you are in your life, because these are foundational principles that when applied, they make a significant difference. Because I believe in not just teaching strategy and tools, because a tool can only be so effective until you move through that thing, and then there's another layer there. And a strategy can only be so effective depending on where your block is, because not every strategy, it's like a lot of people think just because they have a hammer that everything is a nail. Not every strategy and approach works for every type of block or issue. And not every strategy works in general for a different type of person and personality, or for where a person is on their journey. So it's not just enough to have tools and techniques and strategies. Foundational principles, though, I've discovered certain ones are they're truisms for us in this journey here. And of course, all things are true. You still get to find what works for you and try it on like a coat. And if it doesn't, great. But I've discovered that certain principles are foundational. And so this sequence that I'm talking about, that I'm going to share with you, I believe is foundational. And there's layers to it, because what I've discovered is, you know, I'll have somebody go through the Igniting Your Purpose program. They'll go through a 7-week training. I've even done it in a 90-day training. And at the end, there's still questions. There's still another layer to continue to expand into, because it's a continuous journey. You know, I continue to do my work personally. I've been doing personal growth and personal development and medicine journeys and living on mountains and reading books and hiring gurus and teachers and doing healing work in 15 plus years now. And so that's what's allowed me to refine this program, figure out a sequence and strategy, discover the principles, and then also layer on top of that practical tools and strategies. Yet it doesn't end at tools and strategies. So the principles that I've discovered, one is to stop being in resistance. I'm going to give you a couple of steps here in this video that you can actually apply right now. And the first one is to stop being in resistance. One of the easiest examples I give to my clients is when you can pay a bill with the same lightness and joy that you deposit a check, now you've making progress. I'll say that again. When you can pay a bill, when you can have the perception of money going out away from me, and have the same lightness and joy as when you receive and deposit a check in your account, now we're getting somewhere. Yet whenever money leaves you and you notice contraction in your body, even if it's this big, that's something to look at. So that's one example, just one example of how I assist my clients in looking at every single area, the minute, the little microscopic area where they're creating or experiencing resistance in their life. Where their shoulders are back and down, and then all of a sudden something happens and they're contracted and forward, guarding their heart, or looking out where they got to protect themselves, or feeling a just tenseness and tightness in their belly, or a constriction in their heart. And so from the minute, right? And that's the first step, is really just letting go, is recognizing all these areas that we have these resistances in our life, and taking out the kink in the hose. My experience is one, it's beyond the mind and the unconscious. It's time, we're now ready to go into 5-dimensional, 6-dimensional reality and go beyond the mind. Two, a tool and a strategy will only work so far, so much. Three, in order for it to be sustainable, it gets to be a foundational principle, an element that you can do continuous in your life permanently. And it begins to shift you on a cellular level. So a tool is usually a great gateway. Yet it's the thing that you're able to do that changes you as a being, that shifts your cellular structure, that awakens new parts of your brain, that creates new neural pathways. That is the thing that is going to be sustainable, that's going to change your very being. That is a foundational principle, and something that when it becomes a step and a tool you apply, and then all of a sudden it's just who you are. Like a lot of what I now teach, such as the letting go of the resistance, what I call your challenges being your greatest gifts, right? Going beyond everything happens for a reason, going even deeper than that, and understanding just how our minds work, how spirit works in conjunction, and getting really granular, right? So working on the spiritual, the metaphysical, but also getting practical and grounded and applying these things to your life. The second thing, after I stop resisting and fighting any aspect of my life, I'll again say any aspect of my life. And sometimes it takes someone outside of us to assist us in seeing the forest through the trees. You know, a lot of us think we're really, really good at this. Yet if the problem was the problem, you would have solved it by now. If the thing you thought was the issue that you keep looking at and poking at and trying to work through was the thing, you would have moved it by now. You would have solved it by now. You would have overcome it by now. And still you are where you are. So the first level, stop fighting any aspect of your life, period, the end, any aspect of your life, and catching those minute areas where you're still resisting, and having somebody point that out for you and even show you where to look and what it looks like to not be in resistance, to be completely empowered and yet completely surrendered. I'll say that again, completely empowered and completely surrendered. That dance and balance. The next is this hyper awareness. A lot of us know, we're pretty sure what our emotion is in this moment. This is kind of, for some of us, this is becoming kind of common. Yet there are layers of awareness and crevices that we just don't know to look. And this is where some tools can be helpful, because I've developed a set of tools and ways of looking at both how you're showing up emotionally, mentally, physically, your habits, your patterns, and getting really hyper attuned to a whole new level of awareness. This layer deeper, mental, physical, this layer deeper, emotional, this layer deeper, spiritual, and really getting to the root of the root. Right? Yes, Matthew. Great one to emphasize and highlight. Thank you for that. Exactly. So getting to the root of the root, to the very essence, to the sunlight beaming into the soil, not even just the soil itself, even beyond the minerals in the soil, right? And so getting that layer deeper is really key. And it takes slowing down. Really challenging for us. We're so distracted. We create distractions, and we even create healthy distractions. That's the fun, interesting part. All the ways that we can start to wake up and create conscious, healthy distractions and healthy attachments, yet we're still distracted and we're still attached. And so there's more layers of awareness that we get to have to really see what's beyond the blocks that we're aware of and why we can't move past them, or we seem to struggle there. The next layer, I believe, is analysis, because what I've recognized is that there's not a ton of value in some types of therapy where we go back to the past and we spin in the stories over and over again. Because what happens is we just further embed and ingrain those stories we've been practicing from the past, the regret, the shame, the stuff from the past. We just get better at reliving it. We get better at feeling it and living that emotional experience. And so that just continues to be our personality. And as Joe Dispenza says, our personality becomes our reality. And so we just keep reliving it. So there's no value in going back there and staying there, especially unintentionally and unconsciously. Yet in this third step of analysis, there is value in going there and understanding, going there intentionally with a purpose and with a process to get deeper understanding. Because one of the key things that I share is that it's not your fault. There's a whole lot of conditioning that we've been taught, layers that were placed upon us, things that we decided to take on that we weren't even aware we were agreeing to because it was so young in our growth and our experience here. You know, we were literally children being programmed from all of our experiences and conditioned. Yet I also understand that there's things even beyond those conditions. So there's value in going back to our past, but going back there for an intention with a purpose to really understand our conditioning, our patterns, our habits on that level, and then understanding that it's not our fault, yet it is absolutely our responsibility. So Matthew, if you want to highlight another one, it is not our fault. That allows us to let go of guilt, of regret, of shame, of us thinking and perceiving like we've made some mistake, like somehow we can get this life wrong. You can't get life wrong. So it is not your fault, yet it is entirely your responsibility. You are the sole driver and creator of your experience. It's your responsibility and yours only, period, the freaking end, irregardless of what someone else does or what's happening externally. And so there's a lot of value to go back to these experiences and understand our patterns and behaviors and where they came from and let go of guilt and shame for how we're showing up and then step into full responsibility. That is absolutely one of the major shifts of us going from 4-dimensional consciousness to 5-dimensional consciousness is taking full, complete, radical responsibility. And I promise you, most aren't doing that. Even those who think they are. This has been the biggest challenge of my work, is to get people to stop thinking like they've got it all known and understood and figure it out and understand that if this message is coming across your path, there's something you get to hear. There's another layer deeper. Otherwise, you wouldn't be hearing this. There's like 800 million people on Facebook. How many friends do you have on Facebook? How many hundreds of friends? How many other things could you be doing right now at this time of day versus hearing this video? And you're not. You're right here. You saw the video. You read the description. You decided to listen. Those synchronicities happen for a reason, because there's something here for you to hear. Even if you're like, oh, I know that, you're discounting the value of what is here because you wouldn't be hearing it if there wasn't something for you to get. So even if you think there's something here that you've heard before, listen deeper. So, letting go of all resistance and really understanding what that means and seeing all the places that we're holding on to it. Getting a deeper awareness, hyper awareness of how we're creating these experiences in our lives and paying attention to the frequency we're putting out into the world. Analyzing our past experience and understanding that we get to let go of any guilt and shame and regret because it's not our fault, yet absolutely taking 100% ownership because it is your responsibility. If it's going to shift, if it's going to change, you're going to shift. You're going to change. Period. Otherwise, nothing else will. The next step then becomes acceptance because, we do a lot of this work and unfortunately as we uncover a lot of crap that we weren't aware of, that we weren't paying attention to and listening to because we've been so busy and so distracted, and now all of a sudden it's on the surface and it's in our face. Now what do? The irony is you can end up becoming even more resistant. That's the genius of it all. It's like, now I see all this shit. Now what do I do with it? Because I feel even more stressed out. So now our relationship to that, to be able to let go of the pain, of the drama, to actually create peace. It's a whole new layer of acceptance and of forgiveness. And there's no way that we can experience more self-love if in fact we're not willing to forgive ourselves for everything. And then to go an even deeper layer. To understand there was nothing to even forgive yourself for in the first place. 1, the willingness to look at it all. 2, the desire and willingness and ability to forgive yourself for it all. And 3, the understanding that there wasn't even anything there to forgive yourself for in the first place. Each layer going deeper and deeper. And so then being able to do that with the people in our lives, understanding how they're showing up is perfect for the way that they get to show up. And then forgiving them because they're doing their best with what they got right where they're at. And any other belief puts you in victimhood. Period. Period. And when you let go of that and honor wherever they're at, whatever their experience is, whatever you think they did to you, and then you get beyond that and understand we're all just here living on purpose, living our purpose by just sharing our unique expression of spirit into the world and doing our best with what we got. And therefore, that's all they're doing. They're reading your script. They're doing the best that they can, and there wasn't anything to forgive in the first place. And just taking that one baby step to unconditional love. The freedom and power that comes from that, words can't describe. Now we've done all of this work. I do this with clients on a one-on-one basis over the course of a year. I have an online course called Igniting Your Purpose that I'm now filling right now to take everyone through these 7 steps on a very high level and get all of this sequence and steps. And what I recognized is that there's a whole nother layer, and I'm going to be delivering it in this version of Igniting Your Purpose that I've never delivered before. We're going to be going into your human map. We're going to be going into the gene keys. We're going to be going into getting into your neurology and into the DNA of your actual physical structure. We're going to be going into the mental, physical, spiritual. We're gonna go metaphysical, and then we're going to go pure, grounded, practical in order to make massive changes in your life. Because everything that I've shared with so far is about clearing the slate. It's about having this gorgeous whiteboard called life and cleaning it and starting with a brand new foundation, then creating your ultimate life. And then we go into that in the program. The final 3 modules are about creating your ultimate life, architecting an experience you never thought possible and that you wouldn't have even been able to see prior to clearing all this crap we just worked on in these other steps. And then looking at action, real aligned action in a whole new way. And what it looks like to get out of the hustle and grind, get out of the fear, get out of the scarcity, get out of the doing and the hard, and getting into a place of pure alignment and grace with your experience. And that's when we get into aligned action. And then beyond that, we're going to talk about money. There's a bonus module strictly just for money, just for manifesting, creating, receiving, and experiencing freedom around money. And so this journey that I'm talking about is the Igniting Your Purpose program. If you go to ignitingyourpurpose.com, it's a 7-week program that it's open. People are already filling it. There's a special bonus for the first 10 people. But the reason why I wanted to share all this is to have you understand. I'm gonna give you a little cliff note, a synopsis if you're just tuning in. Watch this whole video, go back. I promise you tremendous value here, because the first thing that I shared, and I'm just gonna do a recap, is that 1, finding your purpose, or understanding what your purpose is here, offers massive peace, massive value to your life. It is a game changer, because before that I was hurt, I was wounded, I was wandering, I was disconnected, I was giving away my power. And as soon as I understood I had a purpose and I began living on purpose, a lot of that changed immediately. The next step was to find a vehicle, right? A job, a career, a business, something to put this sense of purpose into. Okay? A lot of people think that your purpose is the thing you do. It's not. That's just a vehicle you get to live and experience your purpose through. It's not what you do. But having that, understanding that, wow, now with this sense of purpose, with knowing what my purpose is, the essence of it, in my beingness, now I get to choose, right? Thank you, Bali. We're all safe. I get to choose, right? I get to choose what vehicle I get to put my purpose through. Then the next stage is wondering, well, how come I could know that? How come I could know the vehicle? And how come I can know the essence of my purpose and why I'm here and be connected and still be in pain, still be struggling, still have it be harder than I want it to be? And that is because there's these other blocks that are mental, emotional, and spiritual beyond the mind that are keeping you from being as full and expressed and in your power as possible. And so I created a sequence of events, an actual strategy and step that is based on principle, not just tools and strategies, but actual principles that allow you to live more expansive, more free, more connected, in order to then just shine as bright as you freaking want to. We change the entire operating system in you, then we build on top of that. So many people are trying to put new tools and programs and strategies, new apps on top of their internal program, and it's hard. It's like the app won't download, and it keeps breaking down. And that's because we get to clear the slate of all the old BS first. This is the biggest thing I see. All these programs out there are giving you new tools and new techniques, except they're putting it on top of the old shit. So we get to clear out all of the old stuff once and for all. Then install the new app, the new program, the new way of believing, feeling, thinking, being. So I just wanted to share with you that there is so much power in discovering and living your purpose and understanding it's not just a job or a career. And then when you find that vehicle, beautiful, then the next stage is about doing whatever that thing is as beautiful and perfect as you can. So, sending you all love and here fully to assist you in igniting your purpose, igniting a sense of purpose so you wake up like I did today, saying thank you, excited to wake up. Living your passion, the things that most inspire you and light you up so you can then be a light for the others around you, and loving your life, because why else are you here? If you're not doing that, if you're not fully experiencing that, ignite your purpose, live your passion, love your life. And if you want to know more about ignitingyourpurpose.com, I'll put the link below. I would love for you to check it out and for you to join me. I do this once a year and once only, and it is the most powerful thing that you can experience. It'll be just a beautiful shift in how you operate in the world, allowing you to show up more powerfully in your work and in your business, allowing you to be more free and in love in your relationships and more connected, allowing you to be more grounded and clear about who the frick you are and why you're here. And so this is it. So I want to invite you to that as well. Sending you all love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.